program tambula n'okumanya gose tambula n'okumanya ku MRU TV.
Here we look back at the late Queen's most memorable looks and how her style evolved over the years. This is Her Majesty's Queen's coronation dress, which took place on the 2nd of June 1953. It is significant in British history jewel, regarded by many as the most important designs of the 20th century. The dress was designed by Norman Hart Noble, who was an official dressmaker to Her Majesty the Queen and one of the most important designers in the 20th century. He also designed Her Majesty's wedding dress and was particularly skilled in combining rich fabrics with beautiful embroideries. Her Majesty made instructions to him that the fabric should be of white silk satin. He started studying about it and the coronation dresses worn by previous Queen's consorts over the century, and he used this to inform his ideas of how the dress would look. He also thought very carefully of how the dress would be seen on the day. Firstly, in the vast space of Westman, and secondly, taking the coronation would be fully televised, and the first coronation to be televised in the manner. He also considered other things like what motifs would be incorporated over that plain white silk satin. He actually produced 9 separate designs for submission to the Queen. Each of the designs was very slightly in its iconography, and in fact, when he presented the 8th sketch, Her Majesty was very pleased with it, but she made one suggestion. The embroidered motifs should be included, not just of those of the Brojals, but also of those realms of the Commonwealth countries, of which she would also become sovereign. That was the last outfit when we last saw the Queen, and it's the same outfit she would been wearing since she was a little girl. Talk about outfit repeat, yo. Love to see it. Wow. The Queen was an OG horse girl. Horse riding was the only time she wore trousers. For example, after her leg surgery. The Queen also hopped the war epic as a girl guide. She had become a girl guide in 1937 when she was 11. She and Queen Margaret created a girl guide guinet called the First Buckingham House Guinet, and it was her and Princess Margaret. At the age of 19, she joined an auxiliary territory service, that's her in the 80th uniform, in 1945. In the 60s and 70s, the Queen started to wear a little bright poppy colors, lemons, sky blues, purples, pinks and greens. She always accessorized with matching hats and coats. She wore floral hats, turbans. She had some beautiful fur clothes for the winter. The Queen always had corgis and dogs in her life since she was a little girl. In the 1990s and 80s, she started to wear bold clashing prints. In the 2010s, she wore these beautiful colored granny fits. She embraced some really beautiful pieces and lots of feminine pastel colors, florals, and solid colors. The person responsible for her last era of style was Angela Kelly. She was the person who was her dressmaker, friend, confidant, and many more. Her style began in 1935 as Princess Elizabeth, when she wore a bridesmaid's dress in preparation for her uncle, the Duke of Gloucester's wedding. There she comes again, a 14-year-old Princess Elizabeth wore a patterned dress at a Windsor castle. We then see the Queen as a girl guide in the uniform. In 1943, the future Queen in Buckingham Palace during her engagement to Prince Philip in 1947. November 20th, 1947, Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip at Buckingham Palace after their wedding, dressed up in a very nice white dress. In 1953, Queen Elizabeth, at her coronation in 1953, the Queen chose maids of honor instead of pages to hold her train, following the precedent of Queen Victoria. After this, Prince Philip and the Queen left a banquet during their 1954 tour of Australia. She wore a white lace dress and a fur wrap and a tiara for the occasion. There she goes again, dressed up in an emerald dress and white gloves on the balcony of Melbourne's Government House during her 1954 tour of Australia. The Queen arrived at a formal event during her tour of Netherlands wearing a navy dress and a fur wrap. Queen Elizabeth, front, the Queen Mother, right, the Prince Charles behind his grandmother, arrived at the wedding of Prince Margaret and Attorney Armstrong Jones. This was in 1960. And in 1961, the Queen and Prince Philip met with President J.F. Kennedy and the First Lady Jackie Kennedy. Prince Anne and Queen Elizabeth attended an event at the Hotel Imperial in Vienna. There she is, waving to the crowd from Buckingham Palace balcony after Princess Anne's wedding to Mark Phillips in 1973. Year 1974, Princess Anne and Queen Elizabeth, both in blue gowns, attended the UK premiere of Murder on the Orient Express. On the walk with the young children, the Queen donned a yellow polka dot. Dress and a matching hat during her state visit to Mexico in 1975. Here, Queen Elizabeth shows off her floral dress when she visited ancient ruins in Mexico. 1976, the Queen chose a sparkling green gown and a sparkling tiara to see President Urho Kekkonen during a royal visit to Finland. 1977, the British monarch opted for a yellow gown to attend a banquet with Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. She goes ahead to show off her fashion sense for a safari in Zambia. In white, Queen Elizabeth wore white and red with the Arabs. 1979. Queen Elizabeth wore a green coat to pose with her corgis at Sandringham. 1980. The Queen arrived at the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana, 1981, in a blue dress with a blue hat. She later attends a state banquet in Sri Lanka wearing a dress by Sir Hadi Amis, the Conco Chic tiara, and Queen Victoria's collet necklace and earrings. In 1981. This is the Queen and Nancy Reagan arriving at a concert during the Queen's Royal Tour of the US. In 1983. She also sees the Duke and Duchess of York off following their wedding in 1986. The British monarch wore riding gear around the Windsor Horse Show. 1988. During a visit to France, the Queen chose a pink and taupe outfit designed by Ian Thomas and matched with a smile on her face in 1992. In the same year, the Queen wore an embellished orange gown during her state visit to Germany with Prince Philip. The Queen also visited the Golden Temple of Amritsar in India, wearing an orange dress and hat. Wow! And this was in year 1997. We come again in 1999, seeing the Queen with Mr. Ryan Jones, the father of the bride, following the wedding of Prince Edward to Sophie Ryan Jones. The Prince Monarch chose a colorful gown to wear to the Royal Variety performance at the Birmingham Hippodrome in 1999. Queen Elizabeth left the service of prayer and dedication with Prince Charles and his wife Camilla following their wedding. This was year 2005. The Queen also donned a blue tunic style dress for a party at the Royal Windsor Horse Show in 2006. She attended a state banquet at Slovenia Bado Castle wearing a fat trimmed gown in 2008. During her 2010 Royal Tour of Canada, the Queen dressed in a black and white to visit the Canadian Combined Forces base Nova Scotia. The Queen also chose a lemon yellow dress and matching hat for Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding at Westminster Abbey. In the year 2011, the Queen donned a metallic dress and white gloves for a performance at Royal Albert Hall in 2012. Stunning. She arrived at St. George's Chapel for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding, sporting a green coat and matching hat with purple featherings. At a Buckingham Palace reception for the diplomatic courts, the Queen stand in a white gown and emerald jewels in 2019. She also arrived at the King Lin's train station to begin her winter vacation at Sandringham, wearing a soft pink ensemble and well-paired headcuff in 2019. Suspense breaks when the Queen recorded an address to the nation amid the pandemic, her first such message, aside from her annual Christmas speech in decades. She chose a bright green dress and turquoise brooch. Many believed she was nodding to NHS workers with her choice of dress color in 2020. For her first official outing following Prince Philip's death, the Queen wore a lilac dress under a matching coat at a scale-back state opening of Parliament in 2021. The Queen brightened things up in an easy way in a zesty orange hue to celebrate the Queen's baton relay in 2021. And during a rare outing, Her Majesty looked spring ready in a pretty floral shift dress, which she paired with a pearl necklace, her go-to bag by Luna, and a walking stick in 2022. Wow! The Queen appeared in good spirits while meeting with Switzerland's President Ignazio Cassis at Windsor Castle. For the reception, she wore a flattering blue and green paisley dress and completed her look with her signature pearl necklace. Still in 2022, the Queen wore a lovely blue ensemble to kick off her Platinum Jubilee celebration at the Trooping the Colour Parade. And for the final day of her Platinum Jubilee celebration, Her Majesty opted for a bright green outfit. Following her Platinum Jubilee, the Queen headed to Scotland to celebrate Royal Week in June, opting for a forget-me-not blue ensemble.